A little bit on the history of the metaverse. So metaverse predates blockchain, and metaverses predate the term metaverse, right? Like people were doing this when it was just virtual reality or just like online networks. The most famous example is Second Life, right? So Second Life launched back in 2003. It was a PC client you install. It's like The Sims, where you have a character, you have an avatar, you interact with other people socially, you can hang out, you can talk, you can voice chat, and you add a layer of businesses on top. So people have been able to buy and sell virtual land, sell goods, create services. There is demand in it, right? Like these online goods that people create. Something to note about early metaverses, like Linden Labs, for example, takes 5% off any sale. So like if I was a person inside of Second Life, if I had a Second Life account, I could make virtual clothes for people to wear, or I can buy and sell the virtual real estate. Right? Before blockchain was done, this was all managed by the company. The company would keep track of who owns what, and they would just, because it's their own marketplace, they get a percentage of that. Same thing with Roblox. Roblox is also very early. It's interesting because Roblox has been more in the news recently, so people think it came after Minecraft. It actually came out way before Minecraft, and they've been experimenting with a lot of like social interactions and social connections, but also adding a game element to it. So if you'll notice that the Roblox is a lot more blocky, whereas Second Life aims to be like more high resolution. Like they're trying to mimic the real life, whereas other projects are trying to be more like, okay, this is a game. Roblox is notorious because they take 70% off of any thing that someone creates. So if someone creates a skin or creates a game or creates a world or creates a house and they want to sell it to someone else within the Roblox marketplace, Roblox takes 70%. As time went on, we saw more game-focused metaverses, right? So moving away from like social and focusing in on the games. And that's when it really took off. Minecraft and Fortnite are two popular examples. Both of those took off wildly, millions of daily active users. Not only were they available for the computer, but they were also available for gaming consoles. So people started using them on Xbox, people started using them on PlayStation, people started using them on Nintendo. Like they really hit the mass market. Like people, they play these games, they don't think of them as metaverses, they think of them as video games, right? It's just video games that you play, but it's online, it's multiplayer, interacting with other people, and there's an element of being able to own, buy, and sell the assets that are within those games. Minecraft takes 30% of any sale that a creator makes, and Epic Games takes 12% of any sale that someone makes. They also created their own currencies, right? So inside of Minecraft, you can buy and sell things for Minecoin, which is not a cryptocurrency. It's just managed by them. It's their in-game currency is like airline miles. And then for Fortnite, they have for V-Bucks. Linden Labs was also the first to do this. They did have the Linden dollars. Roblox also has the Robux. So you'll find this as a common theme, is that most metaverses, even whether or not they use blockchain, they have some element of an in-game currency with their own brand. Then we saw the reemergence of social metaverses, right? So after Facebook acquired Oculus, they worked on a couple of iterations of a metaverse, first with like AltSpace VR, now most recently they announced the Horizon Worlds. And from the way that they structured Horizon Worlds, it's going to be a desktop experience and there's going to be a VR client so people can tune into it both ways. You're going to be able to buy and sell items, buy and sell currency, buy and sell properties, same way as like these other marketplaces do. But the reports are that Meta plans to take 50% off of all these sales. So one of the biggest competitors to Facebook on Oculus, right, which is their own platform, is VR Chat. So VR Chat is one of the most downloaded apps on Oculus, and that is a social metaverse as well. They don't have an in-game marketplace. They don't have an in-game currency. So I think that that's where the opportunities lie. That's not the angle that they want to take, which is good in a lot of ways because it creates just like a regular experience for people. But also there's a con to it because people are just users, right? They're not creators. There's no modding, and like there's a lot of shortcomings there. This is where the new wave of blockchain-enabled metaverses come in. So when I was doing virtual reality in 2016, one of the biggest shortcomings of VR and why it was very difficult for a consumer VR to take off was because of the lack of business models. If you're creating a VR experience, what are you going to do? You're going to charge either for people to access, or you're going to do ads, right? You make it free and you give them ads, or you do some kind of like in-app purchases or like downloadable content, right? Like DLCs where you just charge for for that containerized. So now with blockchain and with NFTs, you create an entirely new business model for these metaverses to be able to fund themselves to grow. So a lot of these metaverses, they ICO'd, right? They launched a token that people could buy into. They did land sales that people could buy into. They sold digital assets that people could buy. And then that creates a natural secondary marketplace for people to come in and just keep buying and selling these assets and to create more. So you incentivize the creation of more assets. So CryptoVoxels and Somnium were the first two to do this. They're two of the big four metaverse projects as defined by Deloitte and Republic Realms and these different authorities in the space. So CryptoVoxels and Somnium both have VR clients. They're also on desktop, and you buy and sell the assets on third-party marketplaces like OpenSea. So this represents a shift from previous metaverses where you could only buy and sell them through their official marketplace, right? And when you can only buy and sell through the official marketplace, then they get that full cut, right? Roblox gets 70%. You know, that goes, or Meta wants to take 50%. You have to do it because you're only allowed to buy and sell on their metaverse. But with blockchain, because it's represented as an NFT, you can buy and sell on any third-party marketplace, right? Like OpenSea or Rarible. So that represents a different change. Then the mass appeal, so these are the most popular projects, the Decentraland and Sandbox, launched in 2020 and 2021. The companies have been out for a few years before that, but they launched the public alphas that people can actually go in and play very recently, right? Just like last year and the year before. The difference with these guys is that they're focused on browser and PC. So Decentraland, you don't need to download anything. You go on your browser and it'll load up. Sandbox, you do need to download something, but it's not a VR headset. You can just install it on your computer the same way that Minecraft was. The reason Minecraft got really popular is because it was a very small file. Like the Minecraft.exe file, anybody could run it, right? And the graphics were very low fidelity. So you're not getting someone to run Steam level games or World of Warcraft level games where the graphics are so high you need a very powerful PC. Anybody can run something like this. This is why this blocky aesthetic went from being when it became something that was iconic, or became something that it's like, oh, it's retro, so it's cool, right? And nowhere else would you do that. You wouldn't get a TV with barely any with a very low resolution and say, no, this is cool. It's like, no, you want the highest resolution thing. But with regards to gaming, they were able to take it and flip that on its head, where being lower resolution is actually a desirable thing. And also it makes it easier for people to run it on their lower end PCs.